All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling a real head-scratcher, the crazy, sudden disappearance of Grok AI's free tools. This thing was a huge hit, used by tons of creators, and then, in literally 48 hours, it went from totally free to completely locked down. So what in the world happened?
I mean, just picture it for a second. You've got this tool, right? It's part of your daily creative grind. You rely on it. Then one morning, you go to log in and poof, it's just gone. And in its place, a pop-up asking for your credit card. That is exactly what happened to thousands and thousands of Grok AI users.
Okay, so let's start with what it felt like to be a user, because the story really kicks off with this incredibly popular free tool just vanishing into thin air. I mean, look at how fast this all went down. On March 17th, everything's more or less fine. Yeah, the free video limits had been shrinking a bit, but hey, it was still working. Then, the very next day, the 18th, the whole platform gets super slow, super buggy. And by March 19th, bam, it's over, the free tier is completely gone. And, this is the part that really, really stung for everyone. There was no email. No, hey, we're making some changes, blog post. Nothing. People who had literally built their creative workflows around this tool woke up and ran smack into a digital brick wall. So what was waiting for people on the other side of that brick wall? Well, no big surprise here. It was a brand new subscription plan. $30 a month. That was the new cost of admission to get into the Super Grok plan. That's quite a jump from the old price of, zero. So, what exactly does $30 get you? Well, here's the breakdown. You go from some limited daily video generations to making longer HD videos. But the real kicker, the most important change is right there in the access requirement. You're not just a verified X account anymore. Now you have to be a paying subscriber, and it all starts with this mandatory free trial. And we've got to be super clear about this trial. This was not a simple, friendly try before you buy. Nope. It demanded your payment info right up front, and it was all set to automatically bill you the full $30 if you didn't cancel inside that very specific 72-hour window. As you can imagine, this little detail caused a lot of anger. So, as you probably guessed, the community reaction was, well, it was not good. It was immediate, and it was overwhelmingly negative. People felt totally betrayed. This quote from the Grok subreddit just perfectly captures how everybody felt. The consensus was that they'd been used, lured in with this amazing free tool, encouraged to make it popular, basically to beta test it for the company, only to have the rug completely yanked out from under them the second they had a big user base. And the frustration was deep. You had creators whose daily work just ground to a halt overnight. There was that powerful feeling of being taken for a ride. And then, to add insult to injury, you had all this confusion and rage over the trial billing. Some people were even saying they got charged before their 72 hours were even up. So, looking at it like that, it just seems like a simple, maybe a bit clumsy cash grab, right? But this is where the story takes a massive turn. Because it turns out the timing of this whole shutdown wasn't random at all. There was something much, much bigger going on behind the scenes. And that brings us to the real reason we're talking about this today, the part of the story that wasn't on any pop-up. We're talking about a major lawsuit. Here it is, the bombshell. Just days before that paywall went up, XAI got slapped with a massive class action lawsuit. Now that timing is just way too perfect to be a coincidence. And the allegations in this lawsuit are incredibly serious. It was filed by 3 teenagers who claimed that Grok's powerful AI was used to create and spread fake explicit images of them without their consent. The suit basically argued that the platform had almost no safety guardrails in place to stop this kind of awful misuse. So you see, the crucial point is this. That sudden paywall was probably less about making a quick buck and way more about damage control. The company was suddenly staring down the barrel of a massive legal and ethical nightmare, all because of the anonymous, uncontrolled way people could use their tool.
You can practically imagine the emergency meeting, right? Step 1, the problem. Our tool is being used for horrible things, and now we're getting sued. Step 2, the solution. We have to restrict access, like right now. Step 3, the method. What's the fastest, most effective way to do that? Gate it behind a paywall. It instantly tills the anonymity because every single user is now tied to verified payment info. So let's zoom out here, because the Grok AI story isn't just about one company messing up. It's actually a perfect snapshot of this fundamental challenge that the entire AI industry is wrestling with right now. Think of it like a giant tug of war. On one side, you have this immense pressure for growth and accessibility. Give away free tools, get millions of users, let creativity run wild. But on the other side, you've got the enormous weight of safety and liability. How do you stop your powerful tech from being used to cause harm? And how do you protect your company when it inevitably is? What happened with Grok AI is a textbook example of this conflict reaching its breaking point. You could say they flew a little too close to the sun with their wide-open access, and the legal and ethical reality came crashing down, forcing them to make a really dramatic and, for users, a really painful change. So, what are the big lessons here? First, how you decide to start charging for your service matters a lot. Do it abruptly and you can destroy the trust of the very community you worked so hard to build. Second, this idea of powerful, free, and totally anonymous AI, well, it comes with some huge safety risks. And finally, never ever underestimate how quickly a lawsuit can completely change a company's business model. And this whole thing leaves us with a really tough, lingering question, doesn't it? In this new world of AI, is putting technology behind a paywall the right price to pay for safety? It's this constant trade-off between open access and accountability, and it's a puzzle the entire tech world is trying to solve right now.